you're not a football guy, are you?
Nah, not really.
Are you, Chris?
No, I don't follow it personally. I'll watch it with my friends.
Yeah.
For the
So
social
what's
side of
the
it.
game?
Yeah. If someone said, who do you support, what would you go with?
But say the McLaren F1 team.
McLaren.
I do wish I fit my team, but that's what you want, mate.
Scotland, mate.
I was that shite at fit, like knowing about football. I remember years ago asking the World Cup was on. I said to my dad, how did Celtic not make the World Cup? They were pretty good. That sounds
So is your family Celtic?
Well, my dad, as my mum was a proddy.
Right, okay.
But she was
Blue nose.
She was a Rangers, Airdrie supporter, but it's just
Yeah.
one of these things.
Are yours green or blue?
None of my family really care.
No, none of them. No one give a shite.
This Cal sussing us out for which your team.
No, it's just that my family are Rangers, but none of us know any of the players. They know nothing. Like I know absolutely nothing about the football team.
See, I'm
whatsoever.
the same. Like I'll go to my mate's house. He's like if there's Celtic Rangers, I'll go around because it's just good to see my mates to watch the game. And like, and like, they'll be saying, I couldn't tell you the name of any of the players.
That's it. I've got friends on both sides, so like I'll go and watch an Old Firm in the pub.
How woke?
Exactly, I know. I'm a pioneer.
Fucking hell. Imagine knowing proddies as well.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because Newcastle United is a prod club, so you'd have to
Is
go.
it?
Yeah,
Is
you'd
it
have to go
really?
Rangers, and Sunderland is a Catholic club,
All right, so I didn't know that.
and Sunderland can go fuck themselves.
Aye.
So therefore,
All right.
and Celtic.
That sounds lost.
I'm guessing.
I'm pretty sure 90% of our listeners are based in Glasgow, so we've lost half of them there.
That's half the audience. So that sounds down to 7 listeners now.
But still more than tickets sold that I've had.
That's fair enough, man. It's a pity we can't plug you tonight because it's like I'll probably plug
matter.
out for you, see what happens.
Any time travellers come to a gig 2 weeks ago?
Cool.
Just head to the socials.
So I think we've unofficially started.
I will fade in somewhere during
So
that.
this gonna
Let's not fade in where I said Celtic can go fuck themselves.
so
Just make a wee note. Fade in.
Sorry, mate.
So Carl has just come in from the Orange Walk with the back of my there. He just put his foot down there. He put his foot down. And he said, "Fuck the Pope." And you just fuck the Pope. And they come in. What's happened? Is that normal?
I was just adjusting some
All
stuff,
right,
but we're all good.
I stopped hearing myself there.
Are your headphone levels okay?
All right,
If I could go up a tiny bit, that'd be great. My ears are really big, but they don't work very well.
How's that
That's
for you?
great.
Is that
Yeah,
better?
that's perfect.
Good.
Thank you very much.
We're all good.
Yeah.
And I need to, Chris needs to pull me up for moving closer to the microphone.
What, you need to go closer, or you can't? You go too
Aye,
far
sometimes
away?
they're too far away. Because I
Sometimes
think
you're
about a
far
gig.
away. Sometimes you shout and then I'm picking up echoes in the room. We've
know,
discussed it many
I know.
times. Sometimes he eats Freddos right into the mic.
I know there's a couple of episodes like I've not even watched the episode. I don't want to see it.
What type of Freddo? Caramel.
I can't remember.
No,
I think it was a
it was-
mixture. I think they had 3 Freddos. So I had 2 chocolate and a caramel one.
Do you remember the Taz chocolate bars?
Aye.
Well, it was just basically a caramel Freddo.
That was
wasn't
a
it?
caramel Freddo,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Because Freddos were just
Did
chocolate.
Tazzies not exist anymore?
I don't think so.
No, they've just become caramel Freddos.
All right.
Oh, were they the same company with it?
I'm sure it was a Cadbury.
That makes sense. Like,
I think it was just to save money on the mould of a Taz compared to a frog.
and also I suppose it's licensing as well, isn't it?
Aye, because that's like Looney Tunes or whatever.
Yeah, Looney Tunes. I love Looney Tunes. I think they're great. I do. I love it.
We've taken a few
That's
turns already. in
That's
this
all right.
conversation.
That's how this podcast works, man. There's no fucking structures for dicks. So this is what is it? This is episode 14, Chris.
I think so. Yeah.
So episode 14, we've got Cal.
Welcome.
Thank you,
Halbert.
mate.
Let's
I
find
nearly
the-
forgot your second name. I was Cal
Thank you,
Halbert.
mate. How long have you known me, Obi?
I just met you yesterday. How long have I known you, man? It must be like fucking
Must be a decade.
10 years.
I would
10
say it's
years
about
at
10
least.
years,
From
yeah.
Edinburgh Festival. I see.
I only met Chris today.
I only met Chris today. It's as if you've been friends forever now.
Get a bond.
Aye. They've bonded over Freddos and Tasmanian devils.
Do you remember the elf ones you get at Christmas that have got pop and candy in them? You don't get them anymore, but it was the same kind of little thing.
Oh, vaguely.
It was, like it was just like a Cadbury elf.
I
remember
tell
them.
you what has come up on my timeline recently is, and it's due to the Glasgow Wonka experiences. Do you remember the Wonka chocolate bars? They were like white chocolate.
Was it when
like
the Johnny Depp
purpley-
movie came out?
I think it might have
Can't
been.
remember
yeah.
that.
And they were always in vending machines.
Yeah, and they had popping candy in them as well.
Yeah, yeah,
And they
were a good time.
White
Does that
chocolate
work
with a
though?
bit of
I'm
purple.
not sure if that would work. I like popping candy and I like chocolate, but does that work?
I don't remember.
yeah.
I don't actually remember a popping candy one, but I remember there was like a white chocolate caramel one that was a belter.
Oh yeah.
I think there was quite a range of them came out when that Johnny Depp one came
Yeah, I
out. That
think
must have
they
been
did.
around. When did that come out? Like 2007ish.
Something like that. They need to stop remaking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
No, I've not seen the new one. The
Nah, I
Is
haven't.
it shit?
Chalamet.
I've got no interest in watching it.
Nah, see,
And to be
I've only
honest,
seen the original one and that was
the
it.
best one.
Aye, mate.
What
which
I
is
love
the-
about that is that the set was built, wasn't it? So like, there's somewhere there's like those lollipops and stuff sitting in a warehouse,
Yeah.
and you go, that's class. That.
Aye.
And they're not certainly not in that one in Glasgow.
No.
Can you do an impersonation of what was his name again?
Gene Wilder.
Gene
Yeah.
Wilder. Now that we're talking about something, we've got an impersonator on the show, so we see
Oh,
if we can
yeah.
get me to do like a Gene Wilder.
Do you know? I've never really thought, but when I look back, I used to. There's one scene where someone would ask him. He was tasting something. He goes, "Oh, it needs a little bit more kick," and he put a pair of football boots into the. Into
Oh,
the
right.
pot. And she goes.
Was it Rangers football, but it was a Celtic ones?
She said, "Does it taste any good?" And he used to just always go, "Yes," and I continued saying "Yes" for about
Aye.
15 years.
So that's the only
That's the
impersonation you
only
can do of him.
impersonation of Gene
aye.
Wilder I can do.
I
Yeah.
don't think he's got that iconic of a voice to do an impersonation of. Really.
Do you know? I'll go away now, and then I'll come back and go, shit, there was something I could say as him.
Aye,
but
aye,
I've never.
So see with you with voices, Carl, is there some you could do kind of quickly, but others you need to kind of go away and kind of analyse a wee bit?
Yeah, I
Is it
think,
mostly stuff you need to think about, like doing voices?
I mean, there's certain ones that you can kind of get ballpark range instantaneously.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Because like, let's say like a John Bishop, you go, well, he's scousing, his tongue's too big for his mouth.
Right.
So you're gonna go around there, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? So you know, you John Bishop, you go and stage in, you know, and then you find a way like to pattern these talks, you know.
Aye.
And there's certain words that he says over and over and over again, you know. And the words that you know. And it's just every single sentence he says, you know. He just says, you know.
Aye.
And it's so you find like words that keep you on track.
Oh, right.
And then you find words that are like a get in. So when I was learning how to do Bill Clinton,
Right.
Bill Clinton's like hesitation before he said anything and the way he said now was how you got into. So you go now, and then you straight in. So that's all you'd ever have.
Chris likes this,
Yeah, you just go.
I'm getting a free show here. It's
Yeah,
excellent.
you would.
Aye.
That's
That's
what
the
would
only reason I got to be to get a free hour of impersonations. Man.
happen. So yeah, you just have a voice. There are certain hooks that you get straight in.
So what does Clinton sound like again?
Now, that's it. So, Bill Clinton, now I do not have sexual relations with that woman,
Aye.
Hillary Clinton. Did not do it, not do it. But yeah, the president's voices, I do a bit of it in my stand-up where
Aye.
like the voices like merge all together.
Aye, you done it.
and
You
stuff.
started off Carter.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter.
Which is now, I'm going to have to start dropping now because that age group is
There's no one
dying
left
off.
at the
minute.
Yeah, exactly. they're
See,
dying
even
off.
me, I, when you were doing that on Saturday, that gig, and I can't even. I don't think I've seen much of Jimmy Carter speaking because I mean, you know, it's just he was 60s or something, wasn't he?
Yeah. So it was well before, yeah.
So I remember my first president. I remember was Ronald Reagan.
Yeah,
that I remember.
yeah.
So
But also, Ronald Reagan was a showman, wasn't he? So like he's like a Donald Trump-esque sort of style,
Aye.
where he's in media constantly. So
as an actor as well, wasn't he?
yeah,
That's
exactly.
aye.
And he was a Democrat.
the actor.
Who said that again?
Doc Brown in
Yeah, it was,
Back to the Future.
Back to
Oh,
the
right,
Future, yeah.
okay, aye, that's right.
I think my impression sounded more like Scooby Doo.
That's what I was
It
thinking.
did sound a little bit, yeah, but I liked it.
Hey, Ronald. What was his wife called again? Ronald Reagan's. Hey, Nancy. Hey,
Nancy
Nancy. Would you like to get some Scooby snacks?
Well, Jimmy Carter's son, I can't remember the name of him, but apparently he was a massive weed head.
Aye.
He'd be smoking weed on the roof of the White House all the
Oh,
time.
man, how cool would that be?
Constantly.
That'd be amazing. I imagine growing up like, hey, man, phoning his mate. Well, did they have mobiles there? Hey, man, I'm on the fucking White House smoking weed, man. I don't know whose impersonation that was there.
I haven't got a clue. I don't know.
I don't know. Just a general,
I imagine just
a general stoned guy.
yeah,
Aye.
American stone guy.
Hey, man,
I'm on the White House.
I'm on the White
man.
House. Just having a wank, man.
Now I think it's turned into Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's what it does.
I'm having a wank on. I can't do
I'm having the
impersonations.
wank on the White House.
I got to do that again. Arnold Schwarzenegger having a wank on the White House.
Hey, Sylvester, I'm having a wank on the roof of the White House. I need to get down.
I need to go down. Oh, that was alright there.
Yeah, that was good.
I need to go down before my chopper falls off. I don't know if
You always go Welsh at the end.
I know. I started off like I started off the first word sounded a wee bit Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It was good.
Then it just went Welsh again.
Yeah.
It usually turns either Welsh, Indian, racist. It just
Can you do a Rod Gilbert?
Yeah, I can. I'm going to move back from the mic so I don't blow people's ears off because
Fair, yeah.
He just shouting at
he just shout and he go. So Rod Gilbert, he's got like this gravelly voice that he constantly he's ranting all the time and he rolls his tongue all the time on arse. So hello, my name is Rod Gilbert. I'm from Wales. How you doing? Oh my God, I can't believe this is what's happening. So yeah, it's just you. You have to be careful where you start. It's a bit like, you know, when you hear people on a karaoke where they start a song and you go, they've started too high.
Oh,
they're never going to get
That's
that.
probably me. I'm fucking.
You go, they've started too high. So when you start with Rod, you need to start really low before you...
Because you need to leave some room.
Yeah, to go up and up and up and higher and you start running out of breath. So yeah, Rod Gilbert's a great voice. I haven't done Rod for ages, actually. I used to do him quite a lot.
He's a great comedian. I love him.
Oh, he's fantastic.
In the workshop, that was one of the kind of... Talking about attitude,
Yeah.
Because like Rod Gilbert, that bit he does, the bit with his suitcase, he's got the handle,
Yeah.
and
I
he just
wheeled this.
Aye.
No, my mother packed it, and I thought this was all I needed. That's it. Yeah.
Brilliant. So how did you get into impersonations, Cal? When did you first know that you could do that?
I always did voices, and I always
Just
used
as
to,
a kid, you done it.
Yeah. I'd like impersonate teachers and stuff like that, and
Did you get into trouble for that shit?
no, but oddly, everyone always found it funny that you'd impersonate Mr. Faulkner, the geography teacher. or
Oh,
something
let
like
me
that.
hear a Mr. Faulkner.
Well, he used to come in and he would say the same thing every single day when he'd go, in today's lesson, we are talking about physical geography. And I don't know why he would pattern it out like this. And people would go, that's brilliant. And you just like, but like if the class was going really loud, you would just shout as one of the teachers, and then it would be like a record goes off. But the one where I did abuse it was when I was working in, because I used to be a tennis player and I went to be a tennis coach.
Oh, fucking hell, I've not. This is new information.
know
No,
this?
that's cool. That's something we can talk about as well.
I
That's
used
awesome.
to, so I used to play, and I was a tennis coach in a sports centre in Shrewsbury, which is where I'm from originally, and I live in Newcastle. But at Shrewsbury Sports Village, and there was a guy called Dave Cockrell who was one of the managers, and he was a Geordie. But he didn't have a Geordie accent. He just had like a neutral northeast.
A bit like Dan Willis. Is
Yeah,
quite,
a bit
quite
like
posh.
a bit like a posh Geordie accent. But he had like a weird squeaky voice, Dave, and he'd always say like weird phrases like "happy days" and "ding dong" all the time. And you'd just
ding dong.
Yeah, it was. And he'd be like, "Hello, mate. How you doing? Ding dong. Happy days. How's it going? You all right?"
Kermit the Frog.
It's Kermit the Frog. Yeah, it's Kermit the
Kermit the
Frog.
Frog.
But what I used to do is I would, whenever I started work, I would look at whoever was on the rota, and I would call them to come in an hour early. I'd be like, "Hello, mate. It's Dave from the sports."
Oh,
Village.
really?
How
Should
you
you
doing?
did
You
with the
all right?"
boss?
Yeah, they'd be
brilliant.
like, "Oh, you're right, Dave." He goes, "Yeah, quick one. Can you come in an hour earlier? That'd be great." And they'd be like, "Yeah," and they just rock up an hour early, and then Dave would be like, "What are you doing? Why you're not in for another hour?" And I'd be looking at them, and I never let on for months that I was doing this.
Aye, so
But-
did Dave think, like, you gaslighting Dave? He thought, am I phoning people? Or
Yeah,
like,
it's like people going, who keeps calling people as Dave? So I don't know. Like I have no idea because I hadn't even started doing stand up at that point.
Aye.
So like no one knew that I was a piss taker. Do you
Aye.
know what I mean? So it would just be like people rocking up going, "You called me like 10 minutes ago."
Aye,
to
aye.
say, "Could you
So-
come in?"
So when did you eventually come clean?
I never did.
This is it.
So this is it.
This is it. This
Find
is
out.
the exposure.
Poor
that it
Dave's
was me.
lost his mind. He's probably in a.
He's been sectioned.
He's been sectioned. He's in a padded room.
It's all my fault. Yeah.
You've ruined him. Aye.
But yeah, I couldn't. But you would just always do it because I was a big wrestling fan as a kid, and you couldn't help but impersonate wrestlers.
Aye, they've got big voices, ain't they? They've got characters and stuff, ain't they? So,
Exactly,
So
yeah,
how did
yeah.
you do then back back then. I'm not like you into wrestling, Chris.
Not really, no.
No, well, I mean,
I remember Big Daddy, Giant Haystacks, guys
see,
like that.
it was the American wrestling that
Ah,
I
right,
liked.
right,
I like
right.
the Macho Man and Hulk Hogan and stuff like that.
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold, yeah. So Stone Cold Steve Austin, give me a hell yeah! And you couldn't help but do these voices.
What about
Particularly
Hulk Hogan? That's the only one I know, really.
Hulk Hogan was like, "Well, let me tell you something, brother. What you gonna do when Hulkamania and the largest stars of the world runs wild on you?" And but like people like the Macho Man was so great in person because the Macho Man, Randy Savage, oh yeah, the cream rises to the top. But they've got.
See, I don't know that as a wrestler.
Yeah, he's a wrestler,
Aye.
but he was actually in the Spider-Man movie.
All right.
The Macho Man, but they've got such.
Is that in the
lewd-
wrestling scene, like at the beginning when Spider-Man is a wrestler?
Yeah. So he's fighting against the Macho Man.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's not the Macho Man in the film, but
he's like his own character.
Yeah, it's Randy Savage. But these guys have got such weird personas and stuff. You can't help but
because
impersonate
it's like
them.
cartoon kind of personas, isn't it? It's,
Yeah. So like when other people, because other people would always impersonate cartoon characters, and what you find is like Family Guy. People will be
I
able
love
to
Family
do
Guy.
loads of Family Guy impressions,
Aye.
but ultimately they're only impersonating Seth. That's all they're impersonating
Aye.
because he does all
Aye,
the voices.
he does most of the voices, doesn't he?
Such as this one.
He said it.
Right. So when they ask you to do some Family Guy voices now, can you do them?
Yeah. So you got your Peter Griffin right there. Great to see you. It's great to be on
Can
this.
you do the laugh?
Great to be on this.
Where is my Batman glass?
Whoa. Lois, this is not my Batman glass.
I love Family Guy.
So, you got your Peter Griffin, you've got Stuart Gilligan Griffin. Oh, hello, Brian. Nice to see Cool Whip. You got Brian, who is just Seth's voice.
He sounds a wee bit like Obama.
A little bit
Barack Obama there, doesn't he?
A little bit, yeah. You've got Herbert the Pervert. Why, hello, Chris. But yeah, so
Is that Seth MacFarlane does him as well?
yeah,
Is
Seth
it?
MacFarlane and Seth does Quagmire as well. Rag.
I love Quagmire.
it's
This guy,
great, isn't
giggity.
I can't quite do a Cleveland very well, other than like oh hey Peter. I can't really do it. But I quite like doing a Joe Swanson.
Oh, right, aye.
Ah, Peter. Bonnie's gonna have the baby. You know, it's but again, these are caricatures, aren't they? So
Aye.
they're so
So
fantastic.
is that easier to do, like a character, like a cartoon character? Is that an easier to do because it's kind of more exaggerated and?
Yeah, definitely. And also because if you can get one, often you find that they voice a fair few characters in the Simpsons is exactly the same.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, here we go.
So you could have a Homer Simpson. Hey, Marge, go down. It's never bothered me anyway. Mr. Who is that imbecile? That's Homer Simpson, sir. Sector 7C. Simpson, eh? Excellent.
Oh, that was what was his name?
Smithers.
Smithers, aye.
And, hey, kids, it's Krusty the Clown. Hi, diddly old neighbour.
That's brilliant.
Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Nick. Hey, Homer. Which is the same voice. Dr. Nick and Barney is the same voice.
Barney Rumble, the Jakey.
And hey, Homer. Mo. That's Mo.
Well, aye.
I'm not going to do a poo because I don't want to get cancelled.
A whole documentary on that.
Aye,
Exactly.
let's do all the Asian voices just for a laugh, right?
Yeah, so you find with certain shows, like a lot of the voices are voiced by the same character, so your voice is on the same spectrum. And like I do believe over time I'd be able to get pretty much any voice, but at the moment, like the one that people always ask me for is Morgan Freeman, and I can't do Morgan
You don't do
Freeman.
that?
No, my voice, I can't get my voice that low.
All right, because he's a very. I could do not Morgan Freeman. I can't.
Let's give it a bash. I can smell you.
So Carl, I can't do it. I'll just sound Indian again. Don't I'm trying to do it.
Half Indian, half Welsh.
I'll just sound like an Indian guy with a deep voice.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Morgan Freeman.
Right.
Let's stop there. But if you think about it, a lot of the Hollywood guys, they don't have distinct voices either. If you think, like, there's only a handful of Hollywood A-listers that you can impersonate and go, yeah, okay, fair enough. You know, that's and you have to look back. So, like, you're Liam Neeson. I don't know who you are,
Aye.
and I don't know what you want. Or you're Robert De Niro's, you know.
Everybody does Robert De Niro. It's a
do
face,
the De
isn't
Niro
it?
face.
It's a face.
Oh, you Joe Pesci, bada boom, bada bing. What do you think? I'm funny. Funny how? Like a clown? Do I amuse you?
But like everything, like Tom Cruise, has he got a distinct voice? If I did a Tom Cruise impression, I can't for the record, but if I did a Tom Cruise impression, would you know? Do you know what I mean? It's,
Nah, it's like, because he's like in my head, I can Morgan Freeman, you can tell he's quite
Yeah.
distinct, and the other ones, that's interesting.
so I would say now it's easier to learn the voice because you've got YouTube and stuff, so you can just like watch video after video after video of these
Can I listen?
voices.
Aye.
Yeah, but it's far more difficult to choose which voice to do.
Aye.
Because there's so many celebrities, and like I've done a few kids gigs. Have you ever done any kids gigs, Obi?
Years ago.
Horrible. I hate them.
Yeah. I mean, some of them went all right, but there was one I done in Edinburgh years ago.
Yeah.
I had a hangover. It was a bad idea. I was a kid. It was on a bus. It was on a bus and then Three Sisters, and I was pissed. And one of the kids started crying at the back. I was like, I need to go home. It's just half drunk man coming on.
But in your head, like, I'm going, well, I'm gonna have to go on, and I'm gonna have to do like Scooby Doo and cartoon characters and stuff. But they don't want that. Surprisingly, and it's like a market research thing where I say, right, okay, shout out some voices, I'll do what I can for you. And the amount of times they want to hear a Donald Trump or a Boris Johnson or something like that is ludicrous.
So people underestimate kids' intelligence, really, don't
Yeah,
they?
definitely. And I suppose if the Prime Minister's been on TV constantly for 2 years through lockdown and stuff, obviously he's not there now, but like the kids are gonna know who he is, aren't they? Do you know? And Donald Trump is so ludicrous, and he's memeable. He's on TikTok all the time and stuff like that. And but then after like those big ones, you just get like random YouTubers and TikTok stars. I have absolutely no idea who these people are. And they go, oh, do KSI, and I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast.
Exactly. Yeah.
Aye. So I've only heard of him. Like he's been about for years. It's
Again,
quite
he's not very. You know, can't do an impression. Again, he's a bit Tom Cruise, just a white American.
Aye.
Yeah, exactly.
And been called Mr. Beast, is that like that? Is that like not a dodgy thing? Mr. Beast. Like loads of kids like watching a guy called Mr. Beast. That sounds a bit wrong. I know. It's like, you ever hear like people that hit the gym and they do weights?
Yeah.
That I'm going beast mode. You better not say that, mate.
I'm calling the police. That's what's happening.
Big Stevie's going beast mode. We better have a word with him. You remember you're a janitor, Stevie. You can't go beast mode.
I'm going to beast these
mode.
toilets. But yeah, so it is a difficult. Like, it is much easier to learn the voice, but far more difficult to choose one now.
Aye.
Yeah.
Just because there's that many, because internet now. So have you ever like I was going to just something that popped in my head. Do you ever do like female voices? Are they difficult to do? Is that just because it's a higher pitch or?
They are. I mean, there's a handful that I do. So I do like a Natalie Cassidy.
I heard you do that the other
Hi,
day.
it's me, Sonia from EastEnders.
Because that's a kind of cat. It's like that's quite distinct, that voice, isn't it?
And Joe Brand is quite distinct as well. You know? But then, other than that, I don't really do many female voices.
Just because it's harder to do?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, on top of that, I have seen female impersonators, and other than like your Sharon Osbourne or someone like that, there's no one really distinct again. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I saw someone doing a Holly Willoughby impression, and I was like, I have no idea if that's good or not. I don't know.
No, I don't think she's individual enough to do something.
See, I'll do a Hollywood Willoughby impression. Don't worry about it, Phil. I won't tell anybody. Unless it affects my job. A few weeks later, fuck you, Phil. I don't know. Was that a good impersonation? Sounds exactly like her.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. You don't. What does she sound like? What does she sound like?
That. Here's Philip Schofield. Don't tell anybody, Hollywood. Don't tell anybody. He's legal. I can't do impersonations.
But it's all down to where your voice
never
is.
sounded Indian there.
That's true. We're making progress, Obi. That's what it is. We're making progress.
Aye.
But so yeah, it's a case of where your voice lies on the spectrum and stuff like that, and where you can get to and reach and get low and stuff like that.
So I remember, like, it was a time like years ago when you were on the drink. We might talk about that later, right? So me and Cal were in the Beehive years ago, And it was like me, you, and Dan. I think there was somebody else here, and I've got a video somewhere.
Oh God!
Remember that?
I just had a flashback of that. Yeah.
It was fine because I was like getting you to plug my show, but I was getting you to do it, and
Yeah.
you had my flyer, and I was giving you all the voices, and you were doing it in different people.
Yeah.
And we were there for about an hour.
Yeah.
There was some laugh.
We entertained ourselves for a long time.
Aye. I think people round about us started leaving and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So for the record, I don't drink anymore. Don't drink at all.
So Carl's been off the bevy for how long now, Carl?
Nearly 2.5 years.
Can you do a round of applause for
thank you.
Carl?
Let's get the button.
Thank you.
Right, yo.
Bored shitless. Don't recommend it.
But he's on the smack now, so he's all right. He's like he's replaced it with heroin, crack cocaine. So that was 2 years ago. So when was it you stopped? Because I've not really spoke to him much about that.
I stopped on the 30th of October.
2022.
Yeah, it'd be 22, won't it? Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah. 30th of
You just
October.
decided. Was that? So this was well after the lockdown, was it?
Yeah. I hit the drink hard in lockdown.
So See, that was weird. Like during the lockdown, I hardly drank.
I went through phases of sort of didn't really bother, and then I would have like Zoom nights with my mates having a drink,
Aye,
and
so I
then
never done
sometimes
that.
I would just like go for a bath and take some Jack Daniels. So.
Just fill up the bath with Jack Daniels. See, I associate drinking with socialising. So I was staying myself, so I sit in the house like I can't. I I'd open a can of lager, drink half it, and get bored.
Yeah.
But if I was sitting with
See,
people,
I never was a house drinker.
Nah.
Admittedly, I never was. And then when I was always a pub drinker, I was always a heavy drinker.
Aye.
But like I never saw it as a problem. And then when lockdown came, and
nobody does, mate.
No, they don't. Yeah. So when lockdown came, I have an office in Newcastle that was in a record shop, and the guy that ran the record shop, he obviously had to close. And I said to him, I said, right, well, we'll create a bubble so that we can at least both still come here.
Aye.
Because my partner was still working all the way through, but working from home. So I'm just doing this fucking tits in. Do you know what I mean? Just like, hang
fuck
around on
off,
what
Carl.
you're doing. I was like, all right, okay, I'll go to my office, right?
Aye.
So we would go there. And we wouldn't do anything. We'd just get hammered, like all day, every day, rather than
Sounds amazing.
We were packing record. It's a record shop that he had, so we.
Oh, so you working in the record shop there, or?
Well, I had nothing to do, so I was just giving him a hand. You know what I mean? I had every intention to do work in my office, but I would just turn up, and because he pushed massively to go online. He said, please if you want to keep this record shop when the lockdown lifts, so you need to buy online. Yeah. So he'd have like stacks of like
so he's
records,
posting them out.
And so I would say to him, so, well, I'll just give you a hand. We'll get a few beers and we'll just get packing it on, put some records on. He's like, yeah, fine.
Sounds amazing.
We would just get hammered all day, every day, and then it got to the point where you're going, right, okay, and then it went to an even harsher lockdown. So then
It was different phases, wasn't
there
there?
were different phases. So
Aye.
then we were like, right, okay, we can't have this bubble anymore because we don't technically live together and stuff like that.
Aye.
So then I was drinking like a litre bottle of gin a day.
Shit.
Just like
Aye.
sitting watching videos of people fishing in Arkansas and stuff. Just going, I could catch one of them.
You're using the wrong thing to put in the thing.
So it just got really bad. Yeah. And
So did they get?
my lowest point was I got really angry at one episode of A Place in the Sun once.
Is that right? Is that realised? You mentioned that the other day. So it's what happened.
So I was sat there and they kept putting an offer in, right? And they were bidding and bidding and bidding on this. They had a budget of something like 70 grand, right? And the dream house that they wanted was 77 grand.
Right.
Right? And they said that's far too much money. And in my head, I'm going, well, go in at 70 grand and meet them in the middle. Do you know what I mean?
You daft cunts.
If it's your perfect house,
Aye.
you're going to find 3 grand, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? If you're spunking 70, you can find 3 more for this
You
house.
never reveal your true upper budget.
Exactly, yeah. Of course,
I
exactly.
only get 10 grand, mate.
Yeah, exactly. So where they go, oh, well, it's a little bit too much. And I'm like, I'm not being funny, but if I was in that situation, I would call my parents, I'd call my friends, I'd be like, I need to find 3 grand now to get this house, right? So they're going, it's 77, we'll go in at 70. And I'm there like a litre bottle of gin in going, just go in at 70? Like, what's going on? What's the problem? Like, and they're going, no, I think we're going to go for this. And they went for this, like, shit. Like, fucking just crap. It was like this crap flat. It looked like an apartment out of Benidorm. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was going, oh, God. I went for this. And they caught up with them and they were going, yeah, we're really happy here, and they didn't look happy at all. And, and I'm sat there with this bottle of gin pouring. I'm going, yeah, you should have bought the semi-detached, you fucking pricks. Like, it's just getting really
You
angry.
ruined your fucking life, you daft cunts.
No, I would never do that. You know?
Aye. So you're getting really angry.
Yeah.
So was it just
And I
pretend
put this in the
angry?
sun. No, I was legitimately really angry at them for buying the wrong house.
Fucking hell.
That's when you know, I think I might have a drink problem.
So was it the following day you realised you could have went, fucking hell, I'm an idiot, or?
Little bit.
Aye.
You know, I'd like wake up where I'd fallen over, and I've still got a scar on the back of my head where I'd like fallen over, and I had no recollection of it. And then I got in the shower the next day, and I felt this massive like gash on the back of my head, and there was like I went through to the spare room, and there was blood on the carpet and stuff where I'd clearly tried to clean it up when I was, but I complete blackout. Don't remember it at all, like nothing, no memory or recollection of this whatsoever. Complete blackout, and because that was like the thing where I was going, well, I can't be an alcoholic because I never have blackouts. And then when like, I couldn't, I always remembered everything. Do you know what I mean? And then I'd pretend I didn't remember stuff if I was a dick. Do you know what I mean?
I just think to the cool, can't remember it. Aye.
I can't remember
Aye,
it.
if you behaved like an arsehole, you go, I can't remember a thing,
Yeah,
mate.
but
It was,
I sneak up, I remember all of that. And I do mean it. But now I haven't got a drink in me, I don't have the courage to say it. Do you know what I mean? But like, yeah, I started having blackouts through lockdown
Really?
and stuff.
Shit,
and I was
man.
like, it's too bad.
I don't think I've ever had a black. Have you ever? Well, maybe we once. Have you ever had a blackout? We drink.
I've had maybe 1 or 2 nights in my life where I've been bad, but I mentioned, I think last week, like I've got a thing when I'm drinking where my brain or my body's just like, that's you had enough, don't drink anymore.
See, I'm a bit like that now.
I never had that, Chris. Never, ever had that.
See, I'm like that now. I think because I don't drink much. I drink a fair bit during the festival because it's like a party. But you know, I don't go mad. I think I had a mad one a couple of years ago at the festival. It was like a Jaeger bomb night with Dan Willis and Sean. And you know, there was drunk texting and shit like that. The next day, turning my phone off, going, "Oh no. I still love you," and all that kind of shit.
Mum.
It's just, what's the worst thing you've ever done on alcohol?
I got arrested.
What for?
Well, I was in. I was charged for drunk and disorderly.
Right.
But what happened was, I was in a pizza shop in Newcastle.
All good stories start there.
And I was hammered. And I've been
You've got like I've kind of triggered the fear in you there because you're just bringing these stories up there. So you went like, oh no.
Well, the thing was, I've been doing a gig, so have you ever seen me in my like bright blue 3-piece suit?
Aye,
I
I've seen that.
I got arrested wearing that.
You're like half of Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like a sky blue 3-piece
Aye, I've
suit
seen that. I've seen that.
And I was doing a show, and I got hammered. I was with a mate of mine, and he got arrested as well. But that's his story to tell. But
If you could tell us after the podcast, that was
we
it.
were in the pizza shop, and this guy was eating his pizza, going, "Oh, my pizza's dead hot. It's dead hot." And I turned round and just went, just get it eaten, you puff. And I didn't mean anything by it. I said, just get it eaten, you puff, right? And he went out, and there was a police car parked up. Now, what's important to this story is I am a puff, right? I'm gay, so I can't say puff.
You're allowed to say that.
I'm allowed to say it, right?
If I say it, I'll get cancelled. You're allowed to say it.
I'm allowed to say it. It's important.
Only a ginger can call another ginger is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So it's important to the story that I am gay, right? So I said, I'll just get it eaten, you puff, right? And he didn't.
So this was a guy you didn't know?
I didn't know him.
Right.
He was just whinging on about his pizza. You go, well, you fuck off home and get it eaten. Do you know what I mean? It's like, stop whinging. And I just get it eaten, you puff. And he went outside, and there was a police car parked up outside, and he grassed on me, right? You know, like a fucking puff would.
And this guy, he's been his partner ever since. That's how he made it. Right.
And then the police officer came up to me and went, said, "Did you call that man a puff?" And I went, "Well, I'm a puff, obviously." And he went, "That's not what I asked you." I said, "Did you call that man a puff?" And I went, I call him a puff, obviously, not because he's a puff, but because he's acting like a fucking puff. They didn't find the funny side. This guy is like, I didn't realise at the time he's a fucking raging queen. Like, well, it doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right. I'm going, fucking shut up, you puff. And it just
Louis
getting
Spence.
worse. Yeah, honestly, it was like Louis Spence. And it got even worse and worse and worse. And then they just went, "We're going to have to arrest you." And fair enough, I can go fuck. Do you know what I mean? And got
Can I eat
arrested.
me pizza first, like?
Yeah. I remember being really annoyed because they grabbed me and I dropped my pizza.
Oh, fuck, man.
But I'd eaten most of it. There was only 2 pieces left in the pizza. And I said, can we pick that up and put it in the bin? And they were going, no. And I said, I hate littering. I hate it. And I really do hate littering. It's a proper bugbear of mine. And I was so angry with the police officers that they
Did they not pick it up?
No, they just left it
Bastards,
on the
man.
floor, right? So I was so angry at them that they'd littered this. So I was like, something switched to my head where I go, right, I'm going to be a dick now. Do you know what I mean? That's it. I'm not going to... And I got arrested, got taken to the police station, and I'm stood there at check-in. And they're going, oh, right, okay, this isn't very well. But I said, I don't give a fuck. I said, it's not as bad as littering, though, is it? I said, it's not as bad as littering. And they're kind of going, and they said, right, well, we're going to put you in the cell overnight. I'm like, I don't care. And they went, do we need to call anybody? I'm like, no. I'm not gonna, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. Do you know what I mean? I don't care. And they went, no, do I need to call your boss to let him know you're not coming into work tomorrow? I'm self-employed, I'm a comic. I don't give a shit. So I went, yeah, call my boss. Right? I gave them my number. So my phone is sitting on the counter, right? And he goes, what's the number? I was like, 07854. And I put it in, and he calls it, and he goes, I don't think your boss is going to be very happy that I'm waking him up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm stood there going, yeah, I bet he's going to be fucking raging. So my phone lights up. I go to answer it. And the police officer pulls my arm back and goes, you cannot answer that, mate. And I went, I've got to, officer. I've got a feeling someone's not coming into work tomorrow, right? they didn't find the funny side. They, like, roughed me up a bit, like, dragged me off to the cell. And they threw me into the cell thinking, they went, oh, enjoy your night, like this, as I went in. And I walked into this cell with this, like, shite fucking mattress, this blue mattress like this. And I saw the toilet and I went, oh, ensuite, champion. It's just this, like, I was just a knob. Do you know what I mean? That was probably the worst thing. But I got 5 minutes of stand up out of it. You know, so that's the positive.
See, that's the best thing about like making an ass of yourself as a comedian. You could turn that into gold.
Yeah, exactly.
Because one of my worst gigs was like I was pissed. Like years ago, it was like a late night gig. You know, like, sometimes in Edinburgh, late night gigs are hard work. Like, it's like 11:40. And I was like, everyone was pissed.
Those rooms are usually filled with people that have missed their last train and don't have a hotel.
Yeah.
So they're just like sat there hammered trying to sleep.
So it's usually like every night. Like, I had some great gigs there as well. But other nights it was just full of drunk people I was trying to kind of work with.
Yeah.
And it was, is there issues with the thing? All right. It's all right, we're doing technical stuff. So,
You've been counting it, so.
oh, have I? Sorry, mate. Sorry, man. Sorry, boss. We're all good.
We're
right.
good.
Right, I'll stay still. What you should do, you should bound my legs up and my arms up when I start the podcast and take all chocolates and sweeties off me. No eating. And put my head there. Like, force my head into the thing. No, that sounds dodgy, doesn't it? So,
Maybe get you like one of those Britney Spears mics that's like...
But then I'll strip off and go on Instagram.
You end up going beast mode.
Right, so it was every night. It was hard work. So I had some great gigs. Other nights it was just full of drunk arseholes. I was like, for fuck's sake. So one night I was out drinking all day. Like, I was on the Jaeger bombs and stuff, and I was handing out flyers, bluttered. Like, this is my show, and I almost got a knockback for the venue.
To get into your own show?
To get in my own show. So I was getting the beehive. So I was getting a show. The guy went, not tonight, mate, you've 2 minutes. He says, I've got a show in 5 minutes, you dick. And so I went upstairs and I got a full room.
Okay.
And there was a guy coming out like the show before me, and he was doing a show with whiskey, and he had like whiskey samples. So I drank a few of them because he didn't have a big full crowd. So I had about 3 or 4 of them. And also, like Dan Willis was there. He bought me some Jaeger bombs.
Just to add fuel to the fire. That's all it was.
So it was a full room. I'm sure it was a full room. And I started, and I was bluttered, right? And you know, when you're drunk, you think you're funny.
Yeah.
But the audience is just going, this guy's a fucking dick. So Dan Willis was up the back. And at one point I went up. So Dan Willis, a few other guys, I can't remember who was there. And I went up the back. I went, how you doing, Dan? This show's going all right, innit? And I swear to God, 40 people stood up at the same time and fucking left the show.
Wow.
Right, and I was just steaming, man. It was the next day. And you know this. I don't know if I've mentioned this before on the podcast. I sometimes have stories, and I was like, I've mentioned this before. And this is a wee bit of stand-up I do sometimes. And this is a true story. Right, so I'm sure I went to, do you know Finnegan's? Victoria
Where's
Street.
Finnegan's?
It's like the wee street that goes up Victoria Street where the restaurant is.
yeah,
Wee
yeah.
Irish bar.
Right, yes, I have been in
So
there.
cheap booze, you've
Yeah.
definitely
I've
been
been
in
in
there.
there.
You've
I've
been in
been
there. St. Pint Kill, you'd have known that a few years ago, you'd have been there. So we're in there, Bluetooth, right, with Dan Willis, I think my mate Gav was there, maybe Sean possibly might have been there, Sean was always about. And I went in, and we went to the bar, and Dan went to buy some pints. And he went, right, like, okay, so, like, your mate will need to leave. He's pissed. We talked with me.
Yeah.
He's like, we can't, like, you guys are fine, but him, like, we can't serve him. He'll need to leave.
Yeah.
And Dan was like, right, oh, but we have to go somewhere else. Like, and I went, don't worry, Dan. I'll speak to the guy.
In your drunken wisdom, that's going to fix it.
No, you do it. Then you get that drunk, and then you can take over like that. And that's fucking genuinely happened, right? And I had to speak to the guy. So I was like, listen, mate, I understand. Like, we've got a wee issue here. I understand we've got a bit of a problem, right? I understand you think I've had too much to drink, right? But the thing is, right, like I'm a comedian, right? Like Edinburgh Festival and that, and I've just done a show, and I just say, I went, like, see, as a comedian, you know, comedians, like, we've got like an on-stage persona. We've got an on-stage persona, and I'm quite a quiet guy, but my on-stage persona is like a drunk Glaswegian guy.
Yeah.
And I went, it's a wee bit like method acting, and I went, it usually takes me like an hour to get into character for the show, and I says it also takes me an hour after the show to come out of character.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, the guy at that point paused a wee bit. He then apologised and poured me a pint. I swear that happened, man. That's fucking happened.
That's mental.
That's Dan Willis at that was real.
That's insanity.
I'm sure I still get chucked out like an hour later.
Yeah.
Because I'm still in character.
Because you were still in character.
Aye.
Give him an hour.
Aye, give him an hour.
That's great.
Aye, sounds
That's
a
great.
new story. Aye,
I was
fucking hell.
very good at like being sober for about 5 minutes when I was slaughtered.
To get past the bouncer.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
We
Really,
used
really
to,
good.
like, if we were coming out of a pub, it was like the last place had shut for the night and you're going to the casino. Obviously,
Yeah.
the
Aye.
last stop. Me and my mates will be queuing outside the casino, standing rehearsing. Like, right, I'll be the bouncer, right? Where have you been the night, mate? And we'd all do a wee rehearsal, like, oh, just Weatherspoons, pal. That's
That's good. That's good. That is good. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate you're not hammered now, but that is good.
Aye.
It probably wasn't that good. I'd probably be like, right, that's me in sober character, just Weatherspoons.
Yeah.
Did you ever rehearse your date of birth when you were younger? Yeah, probably.
I remember doing it
You'd have asked more for ID, but we got asked for our date
I've
of
never
birth.
done it for drinking, but I done it to get a half on the bus. I was standing in the queue for the bus, and then the driver asked me, he was like, what's your date of birth? And I said, but I took the year the wrong way.
That's funny.
And he
I
obviously
see.
clicked on and he went, you went the wrong way, pal, full price. There you go.
I would do that at the nightclubs when I was like maybe 17 going to nightclubs, and you were a bit pissed and you go the wrong way. You go, well, you can't get in, mate, you're only 14. That's alright. So I'd try to go up to 21, but I'd go,
I remember
Yeah.
loads of girls would like borrow each other's IDs, like their big sisters and all that, and
Yeah.
they would get away with it not looking anything like them.
Yeah.
But like they would do they would remember, like I knew bouncers that would ask, what's your star sign based on the birthday on the thing, because it's
Like
obviously
the
not
bouncer
there.
would know as well. Like
I know.
they'd work that out. Yeah.
I think more women get in when they're younger. That's because bouncers are creepy bastards, probably.
absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Aye.
And like the bar trade, you want women in.
Of course you do,
It's
aye.
like it's very Neanderthal. The bar trade is like get more women in. The blokes will come in and pay for
Aye.
everything. That's
Aye.
the creepy blokes will come in. The
Aye.
rich creepy blokes
I
will
know.
come in. But like also, I think if I was a bouncer or something, and someone came in with an ID that was clearly not them, I'd go, fair fucks to you. Do you know, at least you had the brass neck that
Aye.
fucking try that. Get on in, son. Do you know what I mean? It's like.
Because you know when you were younger yourself, you go,
Yeah.
fucking, get in, you fucking dick.
Yeah. I used to go to the pubs in Shrewsbury and we never used to get ID'd. Shrewsbury's got a population of 77,000 people.
Right.
And there's something like 262 pubs within a mile radius of the town centre. Like, it's ludicrous. Like,
Aye.
within like a mile radius. And we used to go out and I used to steal my mum's mascara to like darken my mustache so I could get it. And it would always work.
Aye.
Always work. And I'd just be hammered by like... But see, when you're like 15, 16, you wouldn't need to drink any more than 11 o'clock
no.
at night, would you? Do you know what I mean?
We used to gig in the, do you know the Cumbernauld Village used to have the Circle? It's not there anymore. It's now where I get my hair cut. But
The Circle, was it a pub?
aye.
I think so.
It's like a-
just up the main street.
Aye. I think it's like opposite side for the Black Bull and up.
All
above.
right, I think so.
We used to gig in there when we were like from about 15 onwards, and we got served in the pub all the time. And then we did a gig there. It happened to be on my 18th birthday, and for the first time, I went up, ordered a drink, and they ID'd me, and I was like, "It's your lucky day." Handed it over, and the girl was like, "I've been serving you for years."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, but now you need to." It's like,
You've been drinking here for 2 years. So what age did you start drinking, Chris?
like, well, it was probably around about then when I was gigging, maybe like 15, 16.
You must have had a shandy or something at Christmas before.
Aye, that kind of thing.
That's not
Like
drinking, though, is it?
So I was 17, so I was quite late for a Glaswegian. I was quite a wee.
A lot of them have given it up by then.
Yeah.
A lot of Glaswegians have got to rehab at 16. Right. What were you, Carl? Were you quite younger?
16, 17.
That's fairly.
Yeah.
That's average, isn't it?
Yeah.
So-
other than like the odd like Christmas beer.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
I was probably
Or-
including that in terms of like going out and actually drinking. I'm probably like 16 now.
So I used to
Yeah.
get like a Christmas with was it pomade? Was that a drink? It was like a fizzy kind of winey thing. Pomade, it used to be called.
Don't know that one.
I don't know.
I'd have a wee Bucks Fizz with my gran at Christmas.
Aye,
Bucks
so it's
Fizz,
totally similar to that. Like I used to get one of them. I think there was one like years ago. My mum and dad fell asleep, and I quite liked to taste it.
Yeah.
And I can't remember much about it. But I was maybe about 10, and I was like, "Oh, this is quite nice." And they fell asleep because they were a pair of jakies. And I was just sitting drinking this, and apparently I was pissed, and I was just. They woke up, and I was like sparkled out on the floor. About 10, so. Aye, but I didn't realise I was pissed. I just fell asleep. Aye.
Yeah. I mean,
Shag the dog. Prince, come here.
Following day, hair of the dog. That's what the problem was.
Why is my Willie get a fur on it?
And it looks like a lipstick. That's good.
I got beast mode into Prince the dog.
Was your dog called Prince?
I had a dog called Prince.
Prince. Did you have a dog as a kid, Chris?
Yeah, called Oz.
Oz.
Oh, nice.
Did you have one?
Yeah, we had Peppy.
Peppy. It was a Jack Russell.
No. Welsh Border Collie.
All right. Oh, they're cool.
Black and white sheepdog.
Oh, they're
Border
cool,
Collie.
man. I love
And we
dogs.
called,
Oz
so we
was a
called
border
him.
as well.
Well, yours was a collie.
Border Collie as well.
Border Collie, yeah. Was it black and white or was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Loved it.
Mine was like a mongrel.
What was it?
So it was like his mum was an Alsatian. A German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Can you see Alsatian? Is that like the N word for dogs? Is it like
I don't know, actually. I just thought I might have one in here. But
an Alsatian?
No.
So Carl's got an Alsatian in his
Yeah,
time.
I've got one. In my show, right, they talk about, in Alcoholic, in AA, they talk about having a higher power. So it's like your God, but I'm not religious,
Or
right?
the universe or whatever
the
you want.
universe.
Aye.
And you have to like have your own higher power. My higher power is my first dog
Aye.
dressed as Elvis Presley.
Oh, really?
And that's it there. That's him there. Peppy Presley.
Oh, that's cool,
you can
man.
have it.
That's
Have it.
amazing, aye.
You can have that.
I can have that, man,
Yeah,
aye.
you can have it. I might have another one.
Aye, that's
I'll have a
cool.
look.
Aye.
I normally, because
So-
normally, like if an alcoholic's struggling, I take one of these cards because I used to give these out to people after the show.
Aye.
And I would now I'll write my number on the back for an alcoholic. Give it to here, Chris. You can
Nice
have that.
one. Well,
There you go. Yeah.
So did you?
We'll keep it up in the background.
Aye, right there. If you've got a drink problem, speak to Carl. So you kind of have like an imaginarily higher power that you kind of you have like.
Yeah, so the idea of a higher power is whatever problem you have, you just hand it over to them. You
Aye,
get
I
on
get
with your
that, I
day
get
and
that,
not-
it's a
and
good-
not drink. So like I chose dogs because I'm not religious.
Aye.
And I love Elvis Presley. And I
Right.
realised that I listen to Elvis like loads.
Aye.
Like it's all, if I'm happy, I'll listen to Elvis. If I'm sad, I'll listen to Elvis.
Aye.
And dogs make me happy. So
Aye.
like, and in my head, in like a weird hippie way, whenever I see a dog walking around, I like to think that's my higher power checking in on me.
Aye.
It's a bit like hippie dippy universe sort of thing.
But I love stuff like that. I think
But it's like
that's
so,
cool. Aye.
so when I see a dog, I just look. It reminds me to go. You're still sober. Do you know what I
Aye.
mean? It's
So-
like it's great.
So there's a thing I do, right? You speak about this quite a lot, Chris, kind of psychological stuff. Because his dad's kind of does like self-improvement stuff, self-development stuff for kids. I've still not read the book, so we're getting him on the podcast. And so there's a thing I do, right? I do weird shit like that as well, right? So see if now sometimes you've got you're in your head and things are pissing you off.
Yeah.
So like I kind of there's a thing now when you're where you're where your focus is. Sometimes if you're up there, you start feeling tense. If you get the wee voice going, fucking cunt, fucking buy the fucking house, 70 grand. You're fucking This is in your head, fucking eating away. So I can imagine like your consciousness or your focus is kind of like a torch.
Yeah.
So if you're in your head, you feel a bit tense because you're in there and you're kind of going fucking. So if you expand that, so sometimes if I'm feeling I'll expand it to as big as I can get it.
Yeah.
So but even if you just expand it to the size of the room, it means like where the problem is quite small in comparison.
Yeah.
And sometimes you could go, just imagine your focus is on the universe.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a similar to that. You're kind of going. The universe is where my focus is, and the problem means fuck all, really.
Yeah, and also dogs are so happy to see you every moment. Do you know what I mean? If I don't have a dog at home now, my parents have got the dogs. My job doesn't allow it. You can't really look after a dog
I'm
when
the
you're a
same, mate. I'd
comic.
love a
It's
dog, aye.
pain in the arse. But like, if we went out to a gig, if a dog had a mobile phone, we'd have 800 missed calls within 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean? That's what they're like.
Where have you been? That's 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. It's
See, when you were talking about kind of the dog stuff and what you're talking about, applying it to whenever you see a dog, it's as if it's kind of checking in on you type thing. I was talking about this just yesterday with my dad because I was saying I was working away down south last week, kind of between Preston and Bolton, and it was all kind of windy back roads and all over Lancashire kind of thing. And there was a viral thing went around kind of Twitter and stuff a few months ago that was like just a question of how many owls would you have to see in a day before you thought something
weird.
strange.
Yeah.
Aye.
And I hadn't really thought about
7.
it. Right, well, I saw 3 in a day, right?
That's weird.
Has an answer, right? And 2 of them, the first 2, I was driving down these kind of back windy country roads. There was one on a wall, but it was kind of looking at me.
I mean, that would be weird to me anyway. I don't think I've ever seen an owl in the wild.
Yeah, and it was a kind of white
Ever.
one. I remember going to like Palace Rig up the road, the kind of little farm
That's right, you
place.
get them there, aye.
You'd go and see them in captivity. But very rarely I've ever seen
I
one in
reckon
the
I've
wild.
seen less than 10 owls in my life.
I would say so. But this night, right, so I drove past, it was just getting dark and I was heading to a night shift. And there was a white one kind of perched on a wall looking at me, and I was like, that's odd. And then I started thinking about that thing. I was like, how many would you see in a day that would make you think that's odd? About an hour later, I'm driving to another site and I see another one on a wall, like miles away. So I doubt it was the same one. It was maybe slightly different colour. And I'm like, this is getting a bit strange.
Yeah.
And then another few hours later, and it's like the middle of the night, and I'm fucking shattered driving these kind of windy roads, and one flies in front of me, like wingspan full, kind of right in front of the window.
Like proper Harry Potter postcard style.
That kind of thing.
So that was after speaking to your dad about this during the day?
No. So this was last week that I saw the owls and I hadn't talked about it to anyone. But I just kind of mentioned it to my dad yesterday, and he was telling me, like years and years ago, he used to work up in the Isle of Skye, and he would drive up, it's a 6 or 7 hour drive, and he'd be driving up and down there every week. And there was a couple of years ago, or it was 10 plus years ago now, he had quite a bad car accident, like flipped his car, all sorts. But he said that day that happened, 3 different dogs ran out in front of his car, as if it was like a sort of something from
Trying
the
to
universe.
stop you
Aye,
sort of
yeah.
thing.
He was telling me, it was like one was kind of just as he was leaving the house, one a bit further up the road, one maybe at like Crane Larrick or something. And not long after that, 60 odd miles later, he flipped his car. But I did notice, like, see, after this owl flew in front of me, it was like, I'm in the middle of the night, it's like 3 a.m, I'm driving these windy roads, and part of me's just like, right, just
there's
fucking-
something nasty coming up, sort of thing. If I'm not keeping my wits about, something
That's
nasty
it. I
could be
kind of found
happening.
myself focusing, not that I don't normally when I'm
it's like
driving.
owls are warning you.
Aye.
Oh, aye.
It's a strange, just something from the universe I thought was a bit odd about that.
Aye.
Especially seeing 3 owls in one night, and one of them's like fucking flying in front of me as if trying to stop me.
Like, I'm not religious at all, as I said, right? But I do think there is something. Do
Believe
you know
in
what I mean?
Jesus.
The reason being, right? is that-
I'm not religious either,
I'm
man.
not- but like when you go to AA, they do this thing where they pass the pot and you just put a little donation in. I usually put £1 or £2 in, whatever it is, right?
Aye.
And on the 30th of October, 2023, my 1 year day of sobriety, I thought, right, I'm going to walk to the AA meeting and get my 1 year chip. And as I was walking there, I found £1 on the floor.
All right.
Right, and I was like, that's my higher power saying, like, oh,
Aye.
hey, here, have this one on me. You've done a year, well done. And I thought, well, it's probably just a coincidence, but it makes me feel good thinking
Aye,
that,
aye.
right? Last year, on October 30th, on my birthday, I went to walk to the A meeting. I found £1.50 on the floor
Fuck
on the
hell.
walk to the meeting. I was like, well, the cost of living hasn't got to me higher power. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, things are going okay. And I was like, that can't be a coincidence. Do you know what I mean? Well, I can't wait for next year. I reckon I'm going to get 2-3
Fucking
quid.
hell, it's a good incentive. It's a good incentive to stay on your journey because in 10 years' time, like fucking tenner, man.
Yeah. On the side note as well, talking about birds and stuff, and like I don't think I've ever seen an owl out of captivity.
No.
But I remember going on holiday to Cyprus with my family, and we went to this bird sanctuary in Paphos, and it was just like cages with no roofs on them. So all the birds had flown away, right? And there was just this sign. You had to pay like I think they just moved to the euro, so it was €5 to go in. And it was just a sign that said, these are the birds that could turn up. You know what I mean? It was just like some cages with some food in there. They go, a bird might rock up, you don't know. Like there was nothing there. There was nothing, it was terrible.
Aye. There was one I had that I remember, like, there was just mad coincidence. I think we've all got them, haven't we?
Yeah.
I've probably got a few, but there was like one, that was a few years ago. I was in doing a gig. It was a wee solo tour I was doing. It was in a golf club, Cairn or something like that. Up Stirling direction.
All right. Okay.
Middle of nowhere. I can't remember exactly, but it was a wee up back. Well, it was miles away. It was a wee up north. It was all windy roads on the way back. Way past Calendar and shit like that. And the way back, I was doing a lot of Facebook Lives. I just kind of try to build. I need to do more of them. And I'm just sitting. It was the middle of nowhere. It was like, it was like one of these wee villages. It was just more or less like a street, and there was like just nothing. And I pulled into a wee bit. Like, there was nobody about. And I was doing a Facebook Live, and there was different people coming up. And there was somebody come up, a girl I know, and she was like, she likes greyhounds, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, there's no grey. I was looking about, there's no greyhounds. I was like, we're in the middle of nowhere, no greyhounds. Like a minute later, a woman come up. These two greyhounds stuck their head in my window.
Mad.
These big fucking dogs, they just went, and I was like, fuck's sake. So I was literally on the phone, and these big dogs walked past that. Like, I love dogs, so I had them in the window, clapping them and stuff. And it was just, it's just mad. And there was nobody about. That was the only woman I seen. I was out there for half an hour.
I do love dogs. I think they're fantastic. But like, I'm certainly not one of these like crazy dog people. Do you know what I mean?
I'm on the verge of that.
I'm on the verge, but I won't accept it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think I don't think I'd want to come back as a dog though. Seems exhausting to come back as a dog. I'd love to come back as a house cat.
You got a bit of freedom.
Oh, sleep for 20 hours a day, have a bit of food if you want it.
It's just like being a comedian again, isn't it? You go out tonight for a few hours.
Just have a bit of a wander, come back,
aye.
sleep on a bed, knock something off a shelf, and then just don't care. You never get told off. It's great.
It's great, isn't it? Aye.
Whereas a dog, I reckon it's exhausting.
You'd probably have a problem with the cat nap though if you go back, but you'd be into that shit.
I think I'd be a great cat, mate.
Aye.
Be a great cat.
What animal would you like to be if you come back, Chris?
Like a sloth or something.
Aye.
just hanging out.
Just hanging about.
Oh, have you seen this theory that everybody, like you can put everybody in the world within two categories of either like a mouse/rat or a toad?
No.
Like apparently you can look at people and everyone will either look a little bit like a mouse or a little bit like a toad.
Mouse toad.
Yeah,
Oh,
I would
thanks,
say
man.
so.
Thanks.
I would say so, yeah. I would say mouse.
Oh, I was going to toad myself, but
I think it's the dark hair and the pointy
that's
nose.
fucking hurt my feelings, that shit,
Yeah,
man.
but the thing is...
neither of them's a compliment.
No,
I'd rather be a mouse, man. Fuck this.
I don't think it's... I think it's supposed to be rat or toad, actually, rather than mouse or toad, but it's rat or toad.
Oh, well, you're rat cunt, said that's worse.
Yeah.
So
You're a
mice
fucking toad. But honestly, you'll walk down the street and go, toad, rat, toad. It's like, you can't...
Is there meant to be any kind of deeper characteristic thing behind this, or is it purely just you look more like a toad?
Yeah,
or a
you just
rat?
purely look like a
could
toad.
you not just do that with like a cat or a dog with people?
Possibly.
Elephant, giraffe, like you just...
Yeah, I suppose. But like, I think it's the facial structure that people either look like a toad or a...
Is this an
or a
evolution
rat.
thing?
And there must be, I don't know. It's like...
We've all descended from one rat and one toad.
Yeah, that's it.
I remember,
Adam and Eve were a rat and a toad.
Or maybe we've descended from two different... There was a toad version of humans who've just kind of merged into the same
Yeah.
thing.
Is this like the Neanderthal and the whatever else?
Aye.
They
Just
did say they
started
came from
breeding.
fish, though, didn't they?
Yeah, aye.
We come from fish, then became monkeys, and then...
Yeah, something like that.
Well, according to the creationists, like God just started everyone a couple of 100 years ago.
Yeah.
1982 just went kaboom. Fucking hell, you go. So God was steaming one day, farted in the universe. Aye. And it was not billions of years ago,
No, apparently.
which science says. Zach, what was it? What was it? Is it like a few thousand years ago or something like that? Some of these creationists say it
Yeah,
started.
4,000 years or something like that.
Oh yeah,
aye.
because it's like 2024 since Jesus, and then however
Yeah.
many thousand before that, a bit. So
Yeah, because
Aye.
it's before Christ and Anno Domini.
I always remember after death.
Yeah, that's how I used to remember it. But I think it's Anno Domini. I think
Something
it's
like that, yeah.
Latin, some shite.
It was like, you ever see there's a Louis CK bit? I know he's the best example. I think he's brilliant at stand up. He does a bit where he's talking about the dates. Look, when it was like AD, it was like people going, what's these numbers? It's like 10 AD. What's going to happen in 10 years? When it's going down the way,
Yeah.
it's like getting to
Oh,
one.
right,
or
aye.
something's going to happen. What are we waiting on? It's one. It's, as if they actually had the calendar go back the way.
That's weird. Imagine being in year one. That'd be weird, wouldn't it?
Surely it wasn't called that at the time.
Yeah, what would it been? At what point did we go, it's 2024 now? Do you know what I mean? Like,
That's mad, isn't it?
At what point?
Was there calendars then, did you? Like my Chinese restaurant gives you a calendar every year. China was
Is
like
it on
one.
bamboo? Is it on
Aye,
bamboo?
aye. They give you like it was like the people
Koi
owned
fish.
it. The people owned it for 40 years. There's new ones, so I don't know. I've not sussed these ones out yet. They give you like.
Not suss these ones
If they
out.
don't give you like free prawn crackers in a fucking calendar, they can go and fuck themselves.
Do you know what angers
don't-
me? The
But-
prawn crackers, the free prawn crackers in lockdown. Are you all
Yeah.
familiar with this? There's
No, I don't
Chinese-
like prawn crackers, but it's,
A lot of the ones around here during lockdown started charging extra because they were like, "Oh, we're having trouble getting the,
Yeah.
supply in."
They did
But
the same in
They never
Newcastle.
went back. They never went back after lockdown to being like, "Here's your
Bastards.
free prawn crackers." Now it's
Bastards,
just
man.
now it's just
So
become
many-
the norm that you need to pay for them.
So many things like that, though, aren't they?
I always
So
felt
many things.
guilty because I was a regular in mine. Sometimes they'd give me free prawn crackers and I'd have to go, "You like prawn crackers, mate?" And I'd feel dead
Yeah,
guilty.
yeah.
But then I'd shove your prawn crackers up your arse, you cut that. But I think there was Chinese restaurants in the year one. You get prawn crackers in one. Was the months invented then? Was that a thing?
I don't
Well,
know.
they've changed. Like obviously the numbers don't line up with the names
What do you
Like-
mean?
because like October, Oct means 8, but it's not the 8th month, is it?
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's something to do with
Octist.
with Julius Caesar added July, named after himself.
Yeah.
and he also
What a
added,
narcissistic cunt he is, isn't it?
and he added. I think he added August. So basically, 2 were added in that knocked all the names out because obviously October, November, December means 8, 9, 10, but they're not the
Yeah.
8th, 9th, and
Oh,
10th
aye.
months.
Yeah. I never thought
October is November 9. Is that a 9? Is that?
that. 11. November's 11, isn't
It's
it?
the 11th month, but
Used to be 9.
But that name would be
Oh,
9.
December's 10, obviously, isn't it,
Yeah.
Dick?
Yeah.
Aye. That's
But it's all
interesting.
because Caesar added months and named them after himself.
What a dick?
July.
Have you seen Dave Gorman's bit about the calendar?
No.
No.
So
Oh, I think this rings a bell. I can't remember.
I can't remember it exactly, but he's got a sort of. He wants to reinvent the calendar. He would add an extra month so that every month is the same number of days.
Oh,
and
so it works
every,
out every month would have 28 days.
yeah, and like every day is the same date every year. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that would make sense. Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you added 13, if you had 13 months, it would work out the same. And then there's just like a sort of
So the 30th of March is always a Tuesday, sort of thing.
yeah. Well, there would only be 28
Aye,
days
so
each
every
month.
Oh
month
yeah,
is
sorry.
20.
Yeah,
But yeah.
28th of March is a Thursday.
But yeah, so the same
every year.
day is the same day every year. And then
But
when
how
you
would
get,
would that work in with leap years as well, though?
he's got it all sussed
Has
out.
he got it sussed out?
I'll send you the bit later.
I
but
think
he's-
I've seen it. I think I've seen a wee
So
clip of
basically,
that.
at like New Year, there's always a day that's just not on the calendar. It's just a spare day that we have, and it's just New Year. It's a day off. And then
Yeah.
every 4 years, there's 2 of those days to make for the leap year.
Ah,
And he's decided that the extra month should be called Gourmandury.
nice, nice. I
That seems like
like
a bit like Caesar then. I want
Aye.
a month as well. Aye.
Isn't
Yeah.
there something with your knuckles that you remember how to do
Aye,
that?
aye, aye. So it's like
Yeah,
Is there
January.
raised to 31?
Yeah, something like that.
January, February, no, March, April. Oh yeah. So I only know the rhyme. 30 days have September,
I
April,
know
June,
that.
and November.
Aye,
all the rest
I
of
The
it.
rhyme
know
that's
one.
not even a rhyme.
Yeah,
It's at the end
exactly.
it just goes, apart from that one. And
Yeah, yeah.
Apart from February, who's a bit of a dick. Except the leap year is like 29 years. Aye.
I'm sure that whole bit that Dave Gorman does it starts from that, the rhyme that doesn't rhyme. There's a whole bit about the
Aye.
whole thing.
That's great. I remember Lee Mack did a bit about the word possesses. and how his teacher, because he can never spell possesses as a kid.
Oh, man.
And his teacher said,
I'm
"No, there's the rhyme." He goes, "There's the rhyme. Possesses, 5 S's." And he goes, "That's all well and good, but the only bit that doesn't rhyme is the number." He goes, could be possesses, 10 S's. Possesses, 8 S's. He goes, "I don't know."
I get that with like the Guy Fawkes. Remember the 5th of November. I'm like,
Yeah,
again, it could be remember the 9th of December. Like,
Yeah.
See, I can't. I've always been able. Like, I wouldn't be able. I'm with possess. You see things with like 2 S's, then 3 S's. Like successfully.
What's got 3 S's?
I can't successfully spell successfully. I don't know where the C's and the S's and how many S's and L's and shit are.
The one I always remember, one of my English teachers to help us remember how to spell necessary was
Nessi.
I can't spell necessary.
I started spelling Mississippi there.
Mrs. M, Mrs. I, Mrs. S.
Here's how to remember how to spell necessary. There's the wee, not even a rhyme, just never eat cheese, eat sausage sandwiches, and remain young.
None of that's necessary, is it?
I had something similar for remembering how to spell because, which was big elephants.
Oh, camera shot
Oh
itself
God, I
again.
can't even remember it.
Is that stopped?
I don't know what its
Oh,
problem
is
is.
it stop?
I'll just move a camera because we know what it's like. We'll pause this. Hold on.
We're pausing. It's good.
And we're back.
We're back. So Chris isn't.
Welcome back.
Chris isn't here.
I promise I'm still here.
Chris is still
He's
here.
still
aye.
here.
I could film you on this. Just add it in.
Just a bit sugary.
A bit sugary.
Sugarly, what a word.
Fucking hell, you're in Scotland now, son.
Forgetting we've got a foreigner in.
But Geordie lad, you've got bad words like that as well, though, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got certain words that, like, that,
You've got similar words to you, though.
yeah, we say canny quite a lot. Like, that's canny.
But your canny means different. When we say canny, it means you cannot.
You canny do that.
You can't do
Yeah,
that. When
yeah.
you say canny, it means
Canny,
good.
canny means good or very. So that's canny big, that.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Or, that's canny good. Do you know what I mean? So it can mean very or good. However means come on.
Aye.
However the
Away,
lads.
man.
Come on, however. Let's go.
Aye. Away the lads,
How are
you're
the
watching the
lads?
fit back, aye.
How are the lads, yeah. One that I've never ever understood, which is war kid. So, war kid can mean
My sister or my brother.
my sister, my brother, my son, my friend. Do you know what I mean? It's just
I
that
suppose because woe just means like
hour. Yeah, war kid. So,
Yeah.
war kid, you have no idea what that is.
just be
More
anyone.
often than not, you have to guess that they've meant their brother.
Aye,
Is
aye,
you-
that's what I think. Well, aye. It could be their pal.
But it could be their pal, it could be their son.
Right.
Young'un is what we also say for. Well, I took the young'un out, or the bairns.
Aye.
You must say bairns up here.
yeah.
Actually, I don't say it. That's more. Is that no more an East Coast thing, or do we say it a
I
bit?
don't. But I know I don't personally. I don't think my family do, but
Waynes.
we're more Waynes. Aye,
Waynes.
But that's more an older generation thing, and I've never really said Waynes. My mum and dad would say it.
I would
Yeah.
still say Waynes.
Would you? Aye.
Definitely more than Bairns. I think Bairns is maybe a bit of an older generation thing as well.
Yeah.
So I would associate Bairns to being like Edinburgh, Dundee kind of thing, like
Maybe.
Aberdeen.
Definitely, I know I like kind of Dundee, Fife. Definitely say Bairns.
Because the only where I learned the word Bairns was reading the Bruins in our Willie,
Yeah.
which you'd have got as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah. The Bruins, yeah. But yeah, so Ben is used quite a lot still.
Yeah.
But then there's certain words like netty, which means
that-
toilet, and no one ever says that. No one ever says
Netty? I never heard that
netty.
one.
Yeah, and you must get it here as well, where struggling theatres put on plays about the history of Newcastle or the history of Glasgow or something. They always use old term phrases that no one has ever fucking used.
Aye.
And they're like, and it's always, Newcastle always has the whole like, aren't we canny? I'm just gone to the netty. And
I
you go, no
exaggerate
one's
that.
ever fucking spoken
Aye.
like that.
It's
ever.
like-
Do you know?
When I grew up, like, do you know what a scullery is?
I've definitely heard of it.
I've heard
sure.
like scullery maid.
So,
Yeah.
so the scullery is like the kitchen.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
So when I grew up, like going into I'm going into the scullery to get. I think it came from my granny who was like.
See, I would have
the
thought
other
it
day-
would be like the kitchen that staff would work in like a big castle or something.
Yeah.
Not just
No,
like
so
a kitchen
I-
in the house.
So
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I
I
was
would
growing
say.
up, my mum and dad would use the word scullery, and I thought people that used the word kitchen were posh as fuck. You know what I mean? Just say, I'm going to my kitchen. Check you out, you fucking snob. That's what it was like. It's a fucking scullery, you weirdo. You know what I mean?
Weirdly, people used to think we were posh because we would say lounge rather than sitting room.
Oh, I think you're a posh cunt because of that
I'd
as well.
say
eh?
living room.
Yeah, I'd say lounge. Gone to the lounge.
Aye.
Oh, we were talking about words spelling necessary.
Oh yeah. So what was yours for because?
Big elephants can't always use small exits.
All right.
Okay.
Which makes no sense, but like that's how you.
Aye.
But I still say it when there are so many times where I'll type something into like predictive text, and even the computer's gone. Not a fucking clue, mate. Like, I don't know.
That is it, because usually a lot of the computers do American spelling.
Yeah.
And they make you look like a dick.
I never used to get confused between the spelling of apologies and apologise, but now I do. Like, I don't know how to spell either of
certain
them.
things.
And that's all
It's just
down to like American spellings and stuff like that being like thrown in.
I think it's just the I or the S and E at the end, or the other way around.
Apologies, apologise. Yeah.
GIES and GISE.
Yes.
No.
I can't remember. Without writing it down, I couldn't tell you.
GIES would be apologies.
There's
Apologise,
There's a lot of simple words I need to Google sometimes. I'm kind of getting in and the computer's going, what the fuck is that? I can't.
How do you spell A?
I know. Almost, but not quite as bad. I could do there, and there. I could do all these words. But there's a word that I go, I just want to see it on Facebook or something like, what is that? I need to Google it. Then Google doesn't know either. Then it's like it's a K instead of a C or something. I don't know. It's just, sometimes it's just because I was always good at maths and physics at school, but when it came to English, I was a bit shit.
Yeah. So on my phone, I've got half my phone in Italian because I was learning Italian for a while. And
Which half?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like you can put like gradings of like how much Italian you want leaking in, so you start seeing things.
So just the most basic words that can go in and then start bringing in.
So on my keyboard it says spazio rather than space. Do you know what I mean? I have to be careful then. I have to be careful. Right?
What does it say?
It says spazio.
Oh dear.
But so like certain words filter through, and so like that mixes up with the spelling as well because they don't know what I'm typing in, whether it's English or Italian.
Your phone's just going to explode someday. I don't know what
also the bits where I'm trying to change it back so it just gets rid of all Italian is in Italian and I don't know what it says. So I can't change it. So my phone's stuck in like a half Italian, half
Fucking hell,
English
man.
mix up, so I haven't got a clue what I'm typing.
I would just throw it away and start again. I would just fucking
just get rid of it.
just get rid of it on your phone.
Yeah, I think it says spazio. Stop saying it.
Stop saying that word, man.
This is going out as a clip on TikTok.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does say spazio.
You're just trying to get this one.
Look at
Let's see, let me glasses on, man.
Look at the space bar. What does the space bar say?
Space bar. Message. All right. It says spazio.
Yeah,
You just wanted to hear me say that.
I told you. It does say spazio. I'm not joking. It does say it on the bottom there.
So this is officially.
You're right enough. It's I'm not going to say it, but you know.
We've
What does
officially.
it say, Chris? What does it say?
Says what he said.
Chris, we've gone for a world record for the most the podcast that says the word spazio the most times in the one episode, which means space in Italian, by the way.
Yeah.
So don't give me your shite.
It was my dream to be a spazio man when I was young.
It's like a space bar, like a space bar. If you hear the word space bar, it reminds you of that bar that was in Star Wars.
Or the cantina.
Remember the canteen?
yeah.
So have you been thinking what?
Speaking of Family Guy,
What would a spazio bar look like? Sorry.
just Dean Martin singing in the corner. Speaking of Family Guy earlier, and
Giggity.
Star Wars, they do that thing
Oh,
where
yeah.
they got into there and they go, we'll do some requests. And the band says, just keep playing that same song. And he goes, okay.
How's the song going again?
That's about it.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
Lads, nailed that.
And that just gets that's
I'll get the banjo out.
we'll repeat that. That's just on repeat for a little hours, isn't it? Do you want to release a record?
Of Cantina band
He
covers.
just does doing it. You
That
do
was
it
my
as
ring.
Donald Trump.
That was my ringtone for many years, that wee
Was it?
Cantina song.
Aye.
Was it?
Yeah.
Can you do Donald Trump doing that tune?
I can do the greatest Donald. You know, it's so great.
I mean, can you
So great. The greatest.
Can you do it like can you do Donald Trump singing Wonderwall? No, earlier on you says you can't sing, but you can sing as other people.
Yeah. And after all,
You're my wonder wall. The greatest, the beautiful wall. The greatest wall. Build that wall. The greatest.
Fair enough, there we go.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Do you have a different ringtone, or do you just have a standard ringtone?
I just a
that's on your
random
phone?
one, man. I just a
Just
standard
have a
one.
random one.
Aye.
Do you have a?
It is now the theme song from Lemmy's show.
Nice.
How does that go again? I wouldn't recognise that.
I vaguely
don't know.
recognise.
It does all the like between sketches in the show. There's like wee stabs from it, just like
Alright.
tiny wee snippets from it.
Aye, I never recognised
I've got
it.
Match of the Day on mine.
Aye, I thought you didn't like football.
I'm indifferent about football, but I know that's my phone ringing then. Because that was the problem when iPhones came out. Everyone had the same ringtone.
Yeah.
And then, so I just chose Match. I did have Curb Your Enthusiasm for a while, but then.
Oh, is that the?
The Match of the Day is a good wee tune though, isn't it?
The Match of yeah,
It's a good wee tune.
Do you know anyone that's still? It was a thing back in the day. I still know a couple of people that have got like the warning. Your wife is calling.
Oh God, yeah. I have met people like that.
Yeah.
I still have them.
The crazy frog.
Oh, no,
Crazy
there's a.
frog.
Remember that?
Yeah,
Use
yeah.
that impression. Go.
Oh, aye. I look,
Ding, 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 ding. Bam, 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 bam.
What's going on?
fucking hell, he's good. I might get you to do that again, Carl, and I'll use it.
Bing.
I want to get you to do that after this, record that and make that my ringtone.
I'm going to need to like clip loads of stuff that you've said and save it on the soundboard because I've just got like Lemmy stuff saved that we don't use.
All right, aye.
Like
Fucking arseholes, man. Each and every fucking one of yous.
I'm sure that'll come in handy at some point.
Cheers, Lemmy. Cheers, Lemmy.
It's useful.
What other ones you got?
Uh,
How, what are you going to do about it? Phone the police.
We are the police. do you ever watch Lemmy?
I watch Lemmy.
Aye,
Yeah.
it's fucking
One of my
nuts.
favourites of Lemmy is him talking about what's heavier, a kilogram of
Steel,
feathers or
aye.
a kilogram of steel.
Just
Well,
silly.
steel. Steel's heavier than feathers.
but it's both a kilo.
I know. It's just so simple, isn't it? It's brilliant.
Great.
Some of his stuff's just nuts. He was the first person really in Scotland to go viral before going viral was a thing.
Because
Yeah.
before even social media, he had like his own website that
Aye.
would like do the rounds just through like emails.
Aye,
Back
so
in the day.
I remember being in like I was in Kilsyth or something. I was down with a mate and waiting him get ready before we went to the pub. He went, come in, you seen this? Show me some Lemmy stuff on his computer.
Was it the xylophone?
Might have been something like that. And I just like,
I'm
you
not connected.
are a fucking cunt. It was like, there was a wee xylophone that was like, you did it in a tune, you are a fucking cunt.
I played that for hours. And there was a snowball game. Did you play that?
Aye, I remember that.
It's like a wee
aye.
game where you're throwing snowballs at windows, and every time you hit a window, it's him like a wee character doing a voice, and he's like, "Right, that's it. I'm coming down.
This is a big house.
Your father's going to hear about this."
That's fucking ridiculous, isn't it? It's so simple, wasn't it? You just hit, it was a big enormous house, you'd hit different windows with the snowballs.
That's great.
And it's just, fuck off, you wee cunt, stuff like that, you know, it's just ridiculous.
That's why I think people underestimate how brilliant. I mean, they do and they don't. How brilliant Billy Connolly was.
Who's
Because
that?
I know. So some young lad from Glasgow.
Billy Collins
But
awesome.
he conquered Scotland, then he conquered England and Wales and Ireland and Northern Ireland.
America,
Then he
still.
went to America and conquered that. Then he went to Australia, conquered that, and then he went to New Zealand and conquered that.
Yeah.
All without social
Aye,
media.
aye.
That's how fucking good he is. Do you know what I mean? It's just sensational,
But
isn't it?
I think the difference then, it's brilliant, but the difference then was, I think, see people that go on TV now, it doesn't have as big an impact as it used to.
Yeah.
Because he got on Parky and there's only 3 channels.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's instant 20 million people.
Half the country's watching him.
Aye,
yeah.
aye, and you get people now. I mean, when you done Britain's Got Talent, that had a bit of an impact in your career.
Yeah, it did, but it's
Aye.
gone now.
Aye,
You know,
because
it's,
how long ago was that? Like 2016.
Yeah.
I googled it the other day.
Did
And I was
you?
like, holy shit, is it as long as that? I was
Yeah,
going to
8
ask you
years
about
ago.
that, so I forgot all about that.
We're an hour and 20 minutes in, but let's start
Aye.
an interview.
Oh,
shall we?
sorry. Yeah.
Nah, so we finish on this, the Britain's Got Talent thing, because I think,
sure.
because I was just interested in like what was the whole process like how did you because I think they send emails out to comedians all the time. A lot of comedians go, fuck that shit. You know, you get that. They get kind of snobby about it, don't they?
I would never have done the show as a stand-up ever.
Right, so because impersonating's a bit different, it's a bit quirky,
isn't it? Yeah. So you can get away with it. And me and my mate Alfie Joey, who's a fantastic comedian in the northeast of England, he did impressions, I did impressions.
So is he more a stand-up than an impersonator as well, though?
To be honest, he was a radio presenter. He was a BBC Newcastle radio presenter that did stand-up and impressions, and I knew he did a few. I always wanted to be in a double act. The style of Alfie's very like old school show business style. I thought this will work perfectly. We put the Mimic Men together, and we were doing these videos and put them onto YouTube and stuff, and the producers inevitably came knocking and said, will you come down and audition? We're going to put you straight in front of the judges. We got the message on the Wednesday, and they said, will you come down on Sunday? And we were like, yeah, okay, fine. And we went down, and Alfie wrote this idea of the A to Z. And his idea was that they can either show all of it or none of it. That's it. Because if it's an A to Z that's rhymed, you can't hack it apart, can you? Do you know what I mean? So they can condense it, but it's still going to be in a pattern. Do you know what I mean? So we're like, right, okay, great. We'll do that. And initially, our A was Ant and Dec, because there's two of us. We're both northeast, they're northeast. We're on Britain's Got Talent. They host it. It makes sense for Alfie to be going, welcome to Britain's Got Talent. That's right, welcome to Britain's Got Talent. And that was our start. And about a minute before we were about to walk on stage, they went, we don't want you to do Ant and Dec.
Yeah, I watched a wee bit of it. Was it Alan Carr you ended up doing?
Yeah, so we did. And
so why was that? Did they just start like...
I think what it was is I kind of knew that we would go through but then be kicked out. Because it was so late. It was their last weekend of auditions. So it was clearly they had their cast that they wanted, but they wanted somebody of some standard to kick out to cause controversy. Right? So I kind of clocked it and I went, clearly one of the other impressionists they've put through does Ant and Dec.
I was going to say, because I feel like I've seen other people doing that. So I was thought, why wouldn't
so is that why then they didn't want you? I think so, yeah. So wasn't Ant and Dec getting...
Yeah, it
offended then,
no. So although there was a thing back, because Alfie, he actually trained to be a priest with Dec's brother.
Really?
Yeah, so he knew Dec very loosely. And we were all told in the holding room, no phones on the side of the stage. You're not allowed pictures with Ant and Dec, nothing. We don't want anything interfering. We're all right, okay, fine. And me and Alpha stood backstage just like chatting, doing the background stuff that you do. Like, yeah, what do you think's happening? No, I don't know. Dec looked over and went, is that Alfie? And he waved at Alfie. And Alfie waved back. And he said, come over. And me and Alfie walk over to Ant and Dec. And they stood chatting away. And they said, let's get a picture. I'll send it to our Dermot. And we went, all right, okay. So then the producer is holding a phone of me, Ant and Dec and Alfie, all with arms around each other, taking a picture.
That's cool,
and you could feel all the knives in our back going, we were told not to take fucking cameras down here. And then when they take the picture, then when Dec walks forward and takes his phone and went, yeah, I'll send that. Cheers, and walks off. Everyone's looking going... And then we go on, get 4 yeses and come off. Everyone's looking at us going, well, it's fucking who you know, innit? Do you know what I mean? It's awful. So we went through, and then we were kicked out of the boot camp stage.
All right, so you got through, but not on the next
we didn't do the
stage.
live shows. We got the very best press you could possibly get. So we were shown on the Saturday. We were kicked out on the following Saturday. On the Monday, we were on Good Morning Britain. We were on This Morning.
Brilliant.
We had a newspaper campaign. Like, of all the red tops were going, bring back the Mimic Men. The Mimic Men should be back on this show.
All right, awesome.
Then, so we had all this press, and we didn't have to do those horrific live shows. You know what I mean? So it was like, we got the best possible...
case scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. Best case scenario without winning it. You know, so we were like, we're
Because I've heard some horror stories about Britain's Got Talent. It just... Cause I've heard like comedians going on, but they kind of because like years ago they wanted car crashes. So comedians going on and having a really bad time and and another act's going on having a really bad time. And
I can't remember who told me this. It might have been Danny Deegan, but he was
I
saying
know him.
He's a North. I think he's based in York. Great comedian, Danny. But he was saying about. Do you remember when Michael McIntyre was a judge on Britain's Got Talent years ago?
Yeah.
And when they initially offered Michael the contract, the agents just laughed at Simon Cowell's face and went, do you have any idea how much money he can make by not taking 6 months? Like, if he just did a tour, this is how much money he'll make. So you need to match at least 70% of that. At least.
He can sell out an arena or whatever.
Yeah, in seconds. And then it was at that point where
I sold out nice and sleazies and stuff.
yes, well done. It was at that point where Simon Cowell went, fuck, that's how much a comedian makes. Like, and obviously top level. So that's when he told all his producers to bring me comedians because they can make that much money, you know. And it's because you think of the production value of a band compared to compared to a comedian.
Yeah, even just the costs of a stage setup and all this. You know what I mean, you need a mic and a couple of
all we need
lights.
is a microphone, speakers.
That's it.
Maybe
exactly.
intro music.
Yeah, exactly. So the cost comparison, the markup is so much higher on a comedian, but obviously the money isn't there until you're right at the top. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But so that's why he pushed to have more comedians. But yeah, you're right. They did want the horror shows, and now they're trying to really push and.
Well, that is always a part of the early stages of these shows, isn't it?
Aye, because when you look back, like some of the, I mean, I hardly watch it now.
No, I've not watched it in years.
But I mean, it was like kind of bullying sometimes. You seen the way people go on, and people, you get people on that have probably obviously got mental health issues.
Yeah.
And then there's Simon Cowell telling them they're a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that has got to have an effect on these people.
Don't get me wrong, I absolutely watched it. In the early days, I loved it. I haven't watched it for years now. Do you know, I don't think I've watched it since
you were on it.
Honestly, I don't think I have. I don't think I have. Because I watched it with a little bit of bitterness because you want to go, how the fuck did they get through over us? Do you know what I mean? You can't help it. Do you know what I mean? But then you go, fuck, it doesn't matter. But I haven't watched any of it since. There's no, they're tired shows, aren't they? They're not like, no one
it's just
cares
become
about
a sort
them
of
anymore.
tradition for whatever time of year it's on, really, isn't it? But
Yeah.
So there's a few people you probably know that's done well in it. You know, there was the Lost Voice guy.
Yeah,
won
no,
it.
Lee.
Good
Yeah,
on him,
yeah.
aye.
was it Vigo Venn last year?
Aye, you know him? I've
don't
not met
know
him,
him,
no.
no.
So he's done the circuit, he's all about.
He's sort of clowny type
Aye,
character, isn't he? But,
And there was a guy that I've met, what's his name again? He didn't win it. He got to the final last year. English guy, he had a stroke.
Oh, Marcus Bird.
Marcus,
yeah, he's a fantastic comic.
Aye, he's a good comedy guy, so I met him a few
Deliso
times.
Chaponda did it as well.
Who?
Deliso Chaponda.
I don't know,
He's
no.
another great comedian.
I've heard that name kind of around podcasts and stuff.
I'm going to be... I think he's from Mali.
Right.
Malawi, sorry.
Aye,
Malawi.
aye.
Malawi, yeah. I think he's from Malawi.
I've definitely heard the name.
So
Very
do you
funny.
Do you think for you it's helped us kind of give your career a bit of a boost?
Oh, 100%.
Aye, because people can go, because just to be clipped that people can put on if you're on their
Yeah.
show, here he is doing the Mimic Men.
It's got millions of views
Aye,
on
so
YouTube.
people remember, I remember that guy.
Yeah. So what you'll find is the Mimic Men. Me and Alfie don't really go out as a Mimic Men anymore,
Right.
unless the
Unless
money's
it's a
right.
well-paid corporate
yeah,
gig.
exactly. But we tend to get the corporate gigs when Britain's Got Talent comes back on TV because people go to YouTube to rewatch the auditions. They go into a wormhole.
Aye.
They find us. They go, oh, Northeast. We're a Northeast business. Let's get them in. Do you know what I mean?
The Mimic Men, Susan Boyle, and the social club in Newcastle.
I'd love that.
Aye. Did the warm up for sumo.
See, when you were talking about how you got a pet peeve when people litter,
Yeah.
I saw Susan Boyle chuck a Mars bar wrapper on the floor of Waverley Station once.
Oh, what a cunt.
She can go fuck herself.
I'm
sorry.
Fuck you, sumo. I was all for you.
Yeah. Do you know what, Scotland? You should fucking disown her. I'm not having it. That is fucking out of order.
Aye.
That's coming from some BGT alumni there.
Yeah.
Aye.
I'm going to call her out, you know.
Aye.
I'm going to call you a fucking littering cunt.
That was like that you got arrested with the police there.
I didn't call her a littering cunt because she's a littering cunt.
The Newcastle police are littering cunts, and so is sumo.
No, I'll never forgive her for that.
Nah.
Never.
That's the only thing that I remember.
Did she do it on purpose?
Oh, aye, just walking along. It may not have been a Mars bar, but she was eating something, and I just remember seeing her. Cause
Have you just ruined sumo's career here?
listen, if we've got that
Is it
kind of
'cause
clout,
you're
we're
a-
doing pretty well.
Are you doing like a thing because you're a musician and you're not earning what sumo's earning?
I could only
fuck
dream.
her, fuck her. We're getting at least 30 people a week listening to this. If we can ruin somebody's career while we're on the way up, fuck them.
No, listen, she's got some pipes on her, but I saw her drop a rapper, and it's all I can think about.
Nah, she can go fuck herself.
Sumo's a cunt.
Yeah, Subo's a cunt.
Well, I've got the title for this episode sorted.
Susan Boyle's a
Look,
cunt.
we've all littered by accident without
Never done it.
realising.
No,
No,
but-
without
of course I have.
realising.
This was clearly I saw the action of this, It wasn't
Nah,
even.
she can go fuck herself then.
Aye, we've done it.
Nah.
Like, aye.
Yeah, like without even realising.
Aye.
We've all done it.
Pull something out your pocket and a receipt flies away in the wind.
Yeah, yeah.
Aye.
There are times where you go, that's gone forever now. I feel bad. Do you know what I mean? And I do feel awful for it.
I've seen myself chasing bits of paper
Yeah.
I've dropped
Oh, yeah,
just because I'm not.
Same. Yeah, likewise. Likewise. But if she's just fucking... and at a station as well. Just put it in your fucking bag. You used to gone...
As if a train station isn't full
Let
of
it
bins.
go, Carl. Let it go,
I
man.
cannot.
Where does she stays at Bathgate? Let's drive
so,
to Bathgate and boot our fucking fanny. We'll line up and we'll boot Subo right in the fun.
Oh. Is that a good way to end the episode?
Aye. So if anybody sees Subo, give her a right boot in the boob.
Boot in the book.
Boot her in the left tit, right below her knee.
Oh dear.
That's it.
So,
That.
where can people find you on the socials?
They can find me at Cal Halbert on all social medias. That's CalHalbert.
Right.
Cal
There's the radio
Halbert.
voice.
And do it as Michael McIntyre. How would we be able to? She's got a class cut of it.
You can find me on all social medias as at Cal Halbert. That's CalHalbert.
do the head. You done the head the other day.
head,
That was fucked up, man.
So I'll take my
Can you
scarf
do
off
it
so you
sitting
can
down?
see it.
Have you seen his
So I'll
head?
take- Scarlett, so then
We'll finish on this.
what I find is Michael's voice. I'll do it straight to the camera so people can see it. So Michael's voice will follow his head, where sometimes it's low, it's very low, then it's high, then it's low again. It just goes high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. And if you're lucky, Michael might just go all the way round.
Jesus
That's what it'll do, all the way round.
I was watching you do that. I go, what the fuck's going on in his head, man? That's when Susan Boyle threw her rapper down. I'm not fucking watching this. Aye, watching that from high up at that stage the other day. I was like, holy shit, man. Right, will we finish there?
Yeah, so
that's Carl Halbert.
We've got we're past your comedy festival shows to plug, but have you got any more coming up?
I probably will. I'm always on the lookout for setting up solo shows. Just check my OB Comedian and come and see me wherever. I've always got something going on.
Good stuff. Thanks for coming then.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Carl.
Bye then.
Bye then.
Bye.
I've been Donald Trump.